Hello and welcome to Total IELTS, and in today's lesson I'll be looking at Academic Writing Task 1, describing a manufacturing process. So I'll be looking at what is a manufacturing process, a simple structure or format for your answer, how to write a clear introduction with an overview, describe the main features in your body paragraphs, and some very useful vocabulary and grammar for this particular task type. A manufacturing process is a diagram or diagrams that show various steps or stages of how something is made. Here in the IELTS past paper example, we have the process of cement production and concrete production. The task, as usual, is the same as all academic writing tasks. You summarize the information, select and report the main features, and make comparisons. For the structure format of your answer, follow a simple 3-paragraph structure. Paragraph 1, paraphrase the statement and write your overview. And in paragraphs 2 and 3, describe the main features from the diagram. First of all, study the diagram carefully. Read the statement and take note of the titles and the various stages. When it comes to making comparisons, this is a step-by-step process in sequence that's described from start to finish. So it's not necessary to make comparisons unless there are several possible alternatives. The introduction, as always, is a paraphrase of the statement and titles of the diagrams, if necessary. It's only necessary to paraphrase the diagram titles if they're not mentioned in the statement. So here we got the diagrams below show the stages and equipment used in the cement making process and how cement is used to produce concrete for building purposes. When we paraphrase, we use synonyms, change the form of the word, change the grammar and sentence structure, and we come up with something like this. Illustrated in the pictures are the stages and machinery used to manufacture cement and how it is used to make concrete for the construction industry. Next we have the overview. And in your overview for a manufacturing process, include the number of stages and where it starts and finishes. If there's a large number of stages, there's no need to count them all. It's time consuming and not necessary. Instead, you can say, overall, there are several stages in cement and concrete manufacturing, commencing with crushing limestone and clay and finishing with 4 raw materials being mixed. Let's move on to the main features. Now, when describing a manufacturing process, every stage or step is a main feature. So you need to include them all in your description and try to use linking words to describe sequence. For cohesion and coherence criterion, to achieve a band 7, you need to use a range of cohesive devices appropriately. So basically that means use a variety of linking words correctly. Begin by describing the first step using any one of these or other cohesive devices. Then describe what happens next using a variety of linking words. And finally, describe the last step using a correct linking word. Let's move on to the main grammar or tenses. A manufacturing process is something that happens all the time, so present simple is the main tense. But do we use active or passive? Let's compare these two sentences. In the first step, workers feed limestone and clay into a crusher. That's active. In the first stage, limestone and clay are fed into a crusher, and that's passive. We should use the present simple passive when describing a process, because we don't know, or it's not important, who does the action. Also, passive is classified as a more complex sentence form or structure, and this will have a positive effect on your grammatical range and accuracy score. All manufacturing process diagrams have labels, either the raw materials, the action, and the equipment used. So you should try to paraphrase these labels. Of course, some of them it's not necessary or even possible to paraphrase. For example, limestone, clay, and cement. But where possible, you should try to paraphrase. For example, crusher, a device that crushes. Rotating heater, the machine that rotates and heats the raw materials. And bags, synonym, sacks. Try to use conjunctions when describing the sequence in a diagram for more complex sentences. For example, after plus ing. After emerging from the mixer, the powder is placed in a device that rotates and heats it. After plus present perfect. The powder is placed in a rotating heater after it has emerged from the mixer. As soon as, when, or once, plus present perfect. As soon as the clay and limestone have passed through a crushing device, it is loaded into a mixer. Before plus ing. Before being packed into sacks, the cement is run through a grinding device. And another useful conjunction is where. After it is heated, the cement is fed into a grinder where it is crushed into a fine powder. So in summary, use a simple 3-paragraph structure. In paragraph 1, paraphrase the statement and diagram titles if necessary. In the overview, include the number of stages and where it starts and finishes. When describing the main features in paragraphs 2 and 3, only make comparisons when there are several alternative directions. And remember, every step is a main feature, so include all of them. For the grammar, present simple passive should be your main tense, because we don't know, or it's not important, who does the action. And present simple passive is a more complex sentence structure. Use a variety of cohesive devices linking words to describe what happens first, next, the sequence, and finally. Try more complex sentences using conjunctions, such as after, plus ing, etc. And remember, this is an academic writing task 1, so no conclusion is necessary. The conclusion and overview serve the same purpose. They are both a summary of the information.